Practical Religion, Breathing and Meditation, delivered in San Francisco, April 5th, 1900, Part 1. Everyone's idea of practical religion is according to his theory of practicality and the standpoint he starts from. There is work, there is the system of worship, there is knowledge. The philosopher thinks the difference between bondage and freedom is only caused by knowledge and ignorance. To him, knowledge is the goal, and his practicality is gaining that knowledge. The worshipper's practical religion is the power of love and devotion. The worker's practical religion consists in doing good works. And so, as in every other thing, we are always trying to ignore the standard of another, trying to bind the whole world to our standard. Doing good to his fellow beings is the spiritual religion of the man full of love. If men do not help to build hospitals, he thinks that they have no religion at all. But there is no reason why everyone should do that. The philosopher, in the same way, may denounce every man who does not have knowledge. People may build 20,000 hospitals, and the philosopher declares they are but the beasts of burden of the god. The worshipper has his own idea and standard. Men who cannot love God are no good, whatever work they do. The yogi believes in psychic control and the conquest of internal nature. How much have you gained towards that? How much control over your senses, over your body, and that is all the yogi asks. And as we said, each one judges the other by his own standard. Men may have given millions of dollars and fed rats and cats, as some do in India. They say that men can take care of themselves, but the poor animals cannot. That is their idea. But to the yogi, the goal is conquest of internal nature, and he judges man by that standard. We are always talking about practical religion, but it must be practical in our sense, especially so in the Western countries. The Protestants' ideal is good works. They do not care much for devotion and philosophy. They think there is not much in it. What is your knowledge, they say? Man has to do something, a little humanitarianism. The churches rail day and night against callous agnosticism, yet they seem to be veering rapidly towards just that. Callous slaves, religion of utility, that is the spirit just now. And that is why some Buddhists have become so popular in the West. People do not know whether there is a God or not, whether there is a soul or not. They think this world is full of misery. Try to help this world. The yoga doctrine which we are having a lecture on is not from that standpoint. It teaches that there is the soul, and inside this soul is all power. It is already there, and if we can master this body, all the power will be unfolded. All knowledge is in the soul. Why are people struggling? To lessen the misery. All unhappiness is caused by our not having mastery over the body. We are all putting the cart before the horse. Take the system of work, for instance. We are trying to do good by comforting the poor. We do not get to the cause which created the misery. It is like taking a bucket to empty out the ocean, and more water comes all the time. The yogi sees that this is nonsense. He says that the way out of misery is to know the cause of misery first. We try to do the good we can. What for? If there is an incurable disease, why should we struggle and take care of ourselves? If the utilitarians say do not bother about soul and God, what is that to the yogi and what is it to the world? The world does not derive any good from such an attitude. More and more misery is going on all the time. The yogi says you are to go to the root of all this. Why is there misery in the world? He answers, it is all our own foolishness, not having proper mastery of our own bodies, that is all. He advises the means by which this misery can be overcome. If you can thus get mastery of your body, all the misery of the world will vanish. Every hospital is praying that more and more sick people will come there. Every time you think of doing some charity, you think there is some beggar to take your charity. If you say, "Oh Lord, let the world be full of charitable people," you mean let the world be full of beggars also. Let the world be full of good works, let the world be full of misery. This is out and out slavishness. The yogi says religion is practical if you know first why the misery exists. All the misery in the world is in the senses. Is there any ailment in the sun, moon, and the stars? The same fire that cooks your meal burns the child. Is it the fault of the fire? Blessed be the fire. Blessed be this electricity. It gives light. Where can you lay the blame? Not on the elements. The world is neither good nor bad. The world is the world. The fire is the fire. If you burn your finger in it, you are a fool. If you cook your meal and with it satisfy your hunger, you are a wise man. That is all the difference. Circumstances can never be good or bad. Only the individual man can be good or bad. What is meant by the world being good or bad? Misery and happiness can only belong to the sensuous individual man.